What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we're going to be installing a solar street light between my neighbor's house and my house here. This spot right here has been kind of dark, since we both moved in here, close to 20 years ago. My neighbor keeps some lights on at his house in the front and the back. I keep some lights on in the front, but right here it's been very dark. So on today's video, we're going to be installing a solar street light from Hyperlite. This is the Haco series. It's off now. Now it's on. It's pretty bright. Check it out. All right, guys, I thought we would go ahead and open the box out here. This is the Pvilub solar LED street light. It's the Haco series. That's what we're going to put on the side of the house. Man, it feels good out here. September, it's already starting to feel like fall. Let's get this right here box opened up and check out the contents of the light itself. I picked this up off of Amazon. I'll place a link in the description below. I got one side of the house that doesn't have any light on it, and I was really wanting some light, but I didn't want to run any wires to it. So this is what I went with here. First thing it comes to is the solar LED street light. It's like a little pamphlet here. Remote. It's a very small remote. Remote's got an on-off, a sensor, 3 high, 4 high, 5 high, auto. It's got a brightness, positive and negative on there. With the remote, it comes with 2 AAA batteries, and a little small wrench is also included in that bag. Next thing we see is the light itself. This is a pretty good size light here. And we got is 108 LEDs. And then out of all of those, you have 6 slots here that does not have an LED. There's like a screw here, a screw here. So it's 102 LEDs on this one panel right here. Underneath that, you got the board right in here. Down here, this right here is going to go to the solar panel, and they got the bolts in the mount here for the bar. It's a lot sturdier built than I thought it was going to be, so I'm excited already to put it up. I have this bar here, and we know that the light is going to mount on the bar, and the solar panel is going to mount on the bar as well. This bracket is kind of like going to be like a sandwich bracket. We're going to drill our 4 holes, and once we have those 4 holes drilled, then we can go ahead and mount this on the side of the house. And last but not least, we have our solar panel here. Now this is going to be a 45 watt solar panel, 6 volt, 7.5 amps on this panel here. The first thing we need to assemble is this long rod here. The light is going to go on here. The light is going to face away from this bracket here. Now you see on the opposite side of this bracket is a hole. So once we put the LED light on here, what this is going to do is the wire is going to feed itself and out of the hole. You may need to loosen these bolts here, and if so, that's going to take a 10mm socket driver or socket and wrench. Next step we're going to do is to install this bracket here. Now this bracket bolts to this main rod here of the solar street light, and it also bolts the solar panel to the solar panel mount here at the top. What's great about this lower section here is it's got these turns in here, and they have that so you can adjust this right here bracket to be able to adjust the solar panel to get the most sunlight available. Now we're just going to put ours in here and tighten it up. If I find at a later time that we need to adjust it, we will. Now the kit did not come with any of the blue Loctite like this right here shown. I did have some, and the nut and bolt used to mount this right here bracket to this is going to be a 14mm. So I grabbed 2 wrenches, and we're just going to go ahead and put this nut and bolt together. Now before we can put the panel and the bracket itself on this bracket right here of the main assembly, We next need to put this bracket against the panel. Now the hardware that they have to put this on with, you need to grab you a Phillips screwdriver. You have these small nuts right here, and you have these Phillips head bolts that are included with the kit. Now with their wrench, I'm just going to place that nut on there where it holds it. We'll slide it down here into place and insert our Phillips head screw and tighten it down. We're going to repeat this process 4 times until we get this one bracket mounted to the solar panel. So the hardware that we use to mount this bracket to the solar panel, we're going to use to mount from this bracket here to this bracket here. Notice there's going to be 3 holes on the top, 1 in the center, on the lower. This other one's going to have 3 on the lower, 1 on the top. So we can be able to adjust this right here any way possible. What I'm going to do on mine is I'm going to just install it and make it flat. The sun is going to come up on that side of the mount there, and it's going to go down on this side here. Now once you have everything assembled, you can go ahead now and join your connectors. Now you'll notice the solar panel has a 2-prong male. The light itself has a 2-prong female, and inside that prong there you'll have a notch at the very top, so you will not be able to mix the polarity up on this right here light. So we'll go ahead here, find everything, slide them in. And as you can notice here on the male connector, it has an O-ring for a weather-tight seal. Once you have it together, it'll slide together just like so. Use the nut there, slide the nut down and tighten it down. Once you tighten that nut up, it brings both of those connectors together for a weather-tight seal. I'm in my attic. As you can see, the roof truss insulation in the background. I've cut 2 pieces of 2x4s. I went ahead and used my Kreg jig and put some pocket holes into these. I'm going to attach these pieces of 2x4 to the end rafter here on the side of the house. Once we have those right there screwed in, then we can take our bracket, which is here, that is provided with the kit and the solar light. We can use these holes here and here to drill our holes through those side pieces of 2x4s. And once we do that, I went ahead and picked up these right here. It's like a nut cert. These right here are actually going to screw directly into the wood. And once we put our bolts in from the outside to the inside, no one needs to be on the inside here, you know, to put a nut on from the back sides. All right, guys, before I put the bolts here from the outside in up there on the roof, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about in just a minute here, I went ahead and I got an impact here that we're going to use to drive the bolts in. This is a 17mm socket, which fits the included hardware perfectly. Now before we put the bolts in there, I got some interior exterior caulk. I'm sorry, air conditioner just cut off, that's good. And we're going to use this caulk gun here, and we're going to fill those holes up to try to, you know, give them as much weatherproofing as possible. Take our caulk gun here, put our caulk in. That's going to give us the hole, or it gives us a piece there off. Just if you've never done this before, these are all the features of the caulk gun. Okay, that means it's open there. Slide it into place here. We're going to put the ratcheting side here, or the side with all the notches on the bottom, so when you squeeze the trigger, we have product that comes out of here. So let's measure how tall this light is now. So the tape measure is 16 feet long. And the 16 mark is right here. So we're about 16.4 inches tall from the light to the ground. So right now the light's at 50% brightness, so it's not as bright as it could be. Right now we have set it up on the sensor portion of the light. Now, if I get close to enough to the sensor, it'll go to a full illumination, like so. We're gonna back out of the range of the sensor. I'm gonna put it into auto mode. It's gonna flash on and off. Now it's in auto mode. So auto mode, it will stay this bright right here all night long. I can actually adjust the brightness down some. That's one notch, that's another, that's another. That's all it goes. Let's go back up some. That's full brightness there. So auto mode, once it gets dark enough, auto will cut itself on and stay at that same brightness level throughout the night or until the batteries go dead. And then the next day, it'll cut itself off once the sun comes up. Now, once the sun comes up, it starts energizing the batteries. Once it energizes the batteries enough all day, then it'll stay charged, throughout the night again. So we're gonna leave it back in sensor mode. Okay, it's in sensor mode. I'm gonna walk back towards the camera here. Once this right here takes about like 20 seconds. After 20 seconds, it should get back down to like 50% of the brightness. And there it goes.